today I got a taste of what everyone wants. Just me bickering and complaining because that's what gives us likes and views, and I like the attention, not gonna lie. But I wanted today to actually try and, well, let's try to mix it up and fix it a little bit, at least to a certain degree, because I do think this thing's a little beyond fixing. But hey, we're here to try. We're here to give it the old college/government try, which is about minimal effort, about $8 worth of effort, and we're gonna see what we can do. And is there anything we're worth even trying to fix? Because there might not be. However, I saw this once and I can't see it again, but I do want to point out that if you see right above me, there's a Lou Gehrig Day program coming on Friday. I have no clue what that entails, what it's going to be. It could be, here's what I'm hoping for. Give me a 90 overall Lou Gehrig that I can bring into next year, because if this is a good Lou Gehrig and you only get it for 1 week, I'm like, well, guess what? You can wild card him. I think there might actually be virtual rides at the virtual suites. And then all below me is all the stuff coming for the week after. So, on the 7th, which is season 2. Are you excited? Because, I mean, if you can't tell in my voice, I'm ecstatic by it. And then we get the last season drop. But let's talk about how to make it better, right? Let's focus on the positives, because sometimes we want to be positive boys and help make things better. Now, ultimately, they already sort of showed a lot, and we threw it into a video in a couple last week, I believe. So I don't know how any of this is going to be implemented. Okay, I do not. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know what any of this means. All I'm going to say is you can put yourself in a good spot to get an extra wildcard slot. I don't know if it's 1 or 2. I thought you got one to begin with. Someone's like, no, you have to do all the stuff. Do all the stuff. Get the CC. Make sure the programs are done and all that stuff. And go. It doesn't matter if you're a filthy casual like moi or you're a rank god. I don't care. Just get your stuff done. You don't do it. Get the stuff done, and you're gonna have a grand old time. If you don't want to play rank, don't play freaking rank, dude. Rank sucks. I hate ranked. Ranked is an absolute dumpster fire because you play. You know what? It's the bad players. Bad players just make it awful. Like, it's awful. So let's just start. Let's just go down the list like we always do. Let's start with the program here. Let's talk about the program, because this is where we need to begin with here. Okay, let's start here. 1. Here's what I would do. And this is gonna piss people off. You know what I would do? I would break this thing down into increments in 2 weeks, like Team Affinity is. Reason being is because this is just perpetual vomit. Okay, this is just like it's just everywhere. It's gross. I don't necessarily know if people even like it. I got 9 days to finish this thing. I'm probably not going to. I've come to this reality. And the fact that these things are no sell really pisses me off. But like I said before, I think they know they're sort of in a very bad pickle. So I don't necessarily know. They very well might do it for another week. I know we just got 3 days, but I think they might turn it on for the rest of the week and just be like, we want people to finish this. Because like we said, the numbers didn't look good a week ago. I wish we did an updated poll to kind of see. I don't know where people necessarily are. I got about 200k experience this weekend playing on and off. I started literally about here, so I got up to 48, but that's a side point. I would cut this down into increments and break it down. The reason being is I don't like the idea of XP caps. I don't know. I don't like it. I think XP caps are dumb. What I'd rather them do is say, hey, here's all the content for this period. You have 2 or 3 weeks. I think it's 3 weeks, 3 weeks or whatever, 3-4 weeks to get all the way to here. And then we're going to unlock the next however many levels it is. Let's say they go up to 50. Where's 50? Let's say they're like, hey, we're going to get to here. Okay. And then we're going to get like the last 25. I don't know what his experience was. My original head was, I'm like, what about 250 or so? Like bam, you get to about here, and then we double it to 500, half a million. We get to right here for the second part. Third leg, let's say you get to about here, about the 775, and then for this last grouping is the end of it. The biggest reason is, 1, I think it stretches out the content more so that people who can't play all the time don't necessarily feel like they're constantly behind the 8 ball, having to be like constantly getting up. And 2, it doesn't stop people from playing who are streamers, and this is all they do is they play the game, like crack addicts. But the problem, the biggest thing why I'm saying like, hey, why don't you just, instead of putting up artificial walls to stop people, why don't you just mitigate content? And the biggest thing with this whole like, okay, let's cap it at like content wise, is because then guess what, you could get rid of some of these useless packs and put stuff that's actually valuable in here. Let's say at the back end of this, level 25 or whatever, I don't know, let's say this is where they stopped. This is the highest card you're gonna get. You could put in a couple boss packs for lower level stuff instead of these, like, you know, Miss Melgamish things, and say, bam, the highest cards were stopped. The first season's gonna stop at about 91, 92. And you get a couple cards that will fit that thing that you can carry on as it kind of continues on. It, like, then you get playability for it. There's no cap. And if you run out of content, hey, you run out of freaking content. But the card is at the highest level, so it can carry on over. It's not going to be like this 91 thing where it's just sort of odd because there's other cards, right? That seems to be a better way. And the biggest thing I would say is, again, other games do this. We do it in ranked seasons. Why not just do it here so it doesn't feel like it's just vomit, right? Everyone's not getting caps and trying to get these guys who, again, I don't think people aren't even going to get those. But that's the season one where I would just increment it like 250, or what have you, right? We can increment it and kind of open things up as we go. That's how most other games operate, and it's a fine model where it's just, you're not limited to stuff. There's like a main thing, but then all the supplemental content kind of just comes out, so it keeps things fresh, and you're not necessarily feeling like you're behind the 8 ball. As long as you keep up, you're going to be fine, and I think most people who play will probably be okay with that. Now let's jump on to Team Affinity. I don't necessarily have a problem with Team Affinity. I think it's fine for the most part. Again, I could do without the little fluff things, but whatever. I think the cards here are fine. I kind of wish the 9 we didn't. The biggest gripe I think I'm gonna have is and it's gonna be season 1 again, and this is just my opinion. I wish these were closer to the upper echelon, not so much in the middle, because these cards can be used. Like, well, you upgrade them, parallel them. That's all fine and dandy and true, and might be, and it is true. But the whole thing is, I kind of wish some of these cards just felt like they had longer shelf lives than kind of halfway through. But that's just me. Like, these all were kind of like 91s. I think that'd be swell, because then they can, again, we extend the life of these cards, so you have to grind for it instead of having it feel like it just disappears. The one that I think that got shivved a little bit and rocked a little bit more with these guys, these 93s, because it felt like this is when this climb sort of came into play, and then it blew them out of the water with the 99s that came out a couple weeks ago. So I would say to kind of, again, we want to make sure that we're using these cards for a longer period of time. Throw them in there to the upper levels of whatever you're doing. It's going to be fun. If they finish them early, listen, they grind them and finish them early. It's perfectly fine. I just think we should be able to use them a little bit longer. I know. Wow, frickin' concept, right? So that's Team Affinity and stuff. Other programs, again, when it comes to this, I'm a little torn. I don't know if like the season 1 recap will be for season 2. I couldn't tell you. This is probably the greatest, one of the better programs they have. It literally helped me finish some stuff. So I think this is fine. But it just, again, it feels like perpetual vomit, because it gives everyone the chance to get some really good packs, some really good cards out of these things if you get these rare rounds and these vault packs and stuff. So ultimately, it played out really well. And plus, too, if you were still like, well, I want to do some more, most of these cards dropped in value, so go nuts if you want to. I don't think these rare round cards are still kind of pricey if you're still doing that, but you totally can. So, but excluding this for season 1 plus 1 program, so we have 1 that flew Garrick, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 programs that weren't rewards. So out of the 17, 7 of them weren't awards related. Take it for what it's worth. I don't remember the numbers, but I do remember thinking we're kind of on the same line. But again, I couldn't tell you. I think this is okay-ish. I don't necessarily know what to do. I know a lot of people say, well, there's specially packed, there should be a program for it. I hear you. I just don't. I couldn't tell you. I don't know if that's feasible or not. I think really what I would suggest is maybe not having a freaking theme pack every effing week would be my starting point. Apart from, like, I guess the season stuff, fine, whatever. But especially packs, especially cards. I'd rather, if they do in threes for the third one, I would love to see a little program to get like one of each, at least, just so it sort of feels like, hey, here's you get to pull the pin, right, or throw it into a Conquest map. I can, that's my 2 cents. Conquest, single players with mini seasons. This is one that I really think they need to redo. Again, it kind of goes back to Team Affinity. I wish some of these cards were more upper echelon cards. Like, I wish this guy was this Bob Feller was a 97. I didn't even finish him. I probably should. The season stuff, whatever, classic mode, whatever. I think forcing people to do stuff just isn't necessarily smart. But the packs you get here in the awards, I think are probably okay. For the most part, like here you got some packs and stuff, so that's always good. And then again, Bob Feller. I wish Bob Feller was a little bit higher, but I would say open this thing up, make it more interesting. Honestly, the best thing for me, in my opinion, is sort of make it like an event. Just make it a month-long event where you can get a lot of stuff and have some other stuff. I don't know, for stupid things. Like throw some better cards in here. They don't have to all be bad, but give people an incentive to play. That's my whole thing. It's like, if you want to do it, make the content fun, make it wild, make it instant, make it crazy. Conquest, you could pump a little bit more into here. I wish there were more packs. I wish there were premium packs. I wish there was stuff that made things worthwhile. But alas, it's not what it used to be and stuff. And this nation, I just want them to make things that are worth playing. That's the biggest thing I would just say is like, let's make everything sort of worth playing. Make the grind worth it. Don't make it to where it's like, hey, what do you do for completing this map that we finished? Oh, hey, this one you finished it the first time. You got a vault pack. That's pretty effing good. That's what we're looking for. What'd you get for the season 2 one? What'd you get for the first time you beat it? A 90s overall era pack. Okay. You see my point here. No one's gonna do it for that. Showdown. It is what it is. Let's talk about the multiplayer. Ranked. I think ranks fine. Ignore my record. I had a rough day yesterday. I think ranks sort of okay. I think these missions are fine. The Indian missions, hey, take it or leave it. Whatever. You're gonna climb as you sort of go here. This card being exclusively here. The only problem is it's going to drop like a rock towards the end here. But I think all this stuff is fine. These stat missions are fine and dandy. I think personally I don't have an issue with them. Splitting it into segments I think is okay, just to get people through this back end, give them a reason to do it. Honestly, it could be worse. It could be a lot worse, but again, try not to gatekeep is fine. I don't like ladders that much. I don't think the ladder is an indicative thing for it, but I get it. So whatever helps players get it. I know they do the whole like, we reward the people who are really good by letting them get it early, which is fine. I think that's the way it should be. If you're an absolute sweat, you deserve to get your first crack at some of these cards and see how they do, and then go from there. And then the rest of us normies can get it later. I'm okay with that. Truthfully, BR, I think the biggest thing at BR is I really wish they didn't do the whole like, it's gonna be truly random, so we just don't see people reroll. I didn't like it. I still don't like it. I think the best way to do it is just sort of leave it, because it is a decent number of stubs, and at the end of the day, when you look at the BR program, this BR program to me has always been a fascinating one, because I don't think these things are as necessarily as how do I put it, as rewarding as I think sometimes they feel, because all this is collection fodder. I know you get 4 cards per pack, and there's 3 packs, so you get 12 cards for free, which I mean, end of the day, again, I feel like it's a take it or leave it sort of situation. People who love it will do it. I just don't know if it's worth the stress, to be honest with you. And when it comes to BR and stuff, these being no sell, again, I didn't care much for it to begin with, but again, I don't know if people are necessarily doing it for flawless these days, or they're trying to get like a diamond for $1,500, the $1,500 buy-in price. I wouldn't have changed it, because I think it's stupid, because all it's really doing is it's punishing players who aren't as good, who are just trying to get a high diamond by doing it. Because again, as I've said before, and I said it I think I said it last year too, I said, why is every change mitigating free to play? Because the guys who can run it 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 times, they don't care. This is where they make their steps. It's just withdrawing from a bank. They can do it and do it a couple times and be done with it. So, yeah. Hey, man, I'm just here. I'm just a dude. Events, I think I would redo events to a way that it's just, I want these things to be fun, because the problem is like, is this card good? Yeah, he's good, but guess what? If you just got him for 9 days, it just feels empty. And these rewind packs too, I couldn't tell you. I don't think personally, I just lock it, man. I don't give a shit one way or the other, because none of these guys really do anything for me. Like, if you're doing it this time, you get 10 wins in Moonshot the next 9 days, cool. You get a free 99 Matt Olson. Go nuts, he's fodder, and because you can't flip him. So I would just make things worth doing. I couldn't care less about a lot of the stuff. Is like, just make things fun, because this is where you're gonna go to kind of get the feel for it. I don't know. Honestly, you know, it'd be a fun event, and this is just me personally. Screw making the events online play. Make an event that's offline and just have these, just go to town and have it be like scores and runs and stuff. And you get tier rewards and stuff. You get packs and stuff. And the only, like, you climb a ladder and you get more packs. That's what I would do. And I would, honestly, you know what I would add for this? And this is something we've talked about. I want, like, a competitive offline mode would be absolutely great. Like an offline season. Think mini seasons, but better, honestly, because I know we talk about weekend league all the time. That would be a great addition to this game, but it's never going to come in with a highly competitive offline mode that just gives you good rewards, because everything good reward wise is mitigated on the multiplayer aspect. And if you're not a big multiplayer guy, like I'm really not, to be honest with you, I could care less about it. I'm just here to have fun and just collect cards, you know what it is. But a high competitive, like offline mode, where you're playing like Hall of Fame and stuff, kind of gives that mentality where the computers can be a little bit, the AIs feel a little bit tougher, not incredibly tough, but a little bit better, and it yields better rewards. Would be great. I know we've talked about it in years past, like a weekend league, and like have it be like a week, like a separate event here. Put like an event and just be like online or offline. Offline, let's say, prime example. It's the Moonshot event, right? The online card's a 99 JD Martinez. Why can't there be an offline mode and have it be, I guess we can give it another night, like a 99, like, I don't know, what's a lesser card that you could give, like a 99, oh gosh, I'm trying to think of just like a card that would be, like a 90, okay, like a 99 Troy Gloss. He's got enough, like, it's the same thing, and you're doing moments and you have to do a certain number of things to get a card, and then you can get hacks if you kind of keep doing it. Like, that's what, like, and make that like a week-long thing. Like, this is the 2-week thing, it's online, the rewards are better. But here it's like, hey, you get this like 99, like I said, Troy Gloss. Kind of use the stats for that Troy Gloss Prime card, like that card, but it's a little bit like, it's got a disparity, it's not as good as this one, and it'll play. Like, that would be great. Give offline players something to do that's just not like beating the team into the ground. Have it be like, hey, you're coming up in like a moment's extreme, but not extreme, right? Where it's like, hey, play this 3-inning game. You start with runners on the corners, and you have to score 3 runs. Kind of like combined showdown with like an event, and you can use any card, like these certain cards, like have the same restrictions. And yeah, and if you do these certain things, you can get a card, and it like resets every week, and you get a free card. It's 1 card a week. And, you know, I'm spitballing here to, like, give sort of things like, hey, that could work. But, yeah, like, that's what I would do. That's what I would do. I couldn't tell you if it's good, right, wrong, bad, and different. That's just my 2 cents. For the record, I never claimed to be a game dev or anything. That's why it's like, hey, take this with a game of salt. I'm a fat guy who just makes videos on the internet. I don't necessarily know what the big indicative solving question is, what would fix the game, what would make it better, what would make it worse. I just think this is stuff I've seen that I feel like helps the pace a little bit better, so it just doesn't feel like it's a verbal, it's basically basically 3D vomit, right? Where it's just like, here's all of it, do it all, figure it out. Instead, where it's like in more bite-sized chunks, where you can get a little bit better, things are a little bit more panned out, and a little less like all over the place. If that makes sense, I don't know. We'll see what happens in 9 days. It sort of seem like they're gonna kind of try to make things a little bit more fortunate. I don't know. They already said there's double XP, so maybe there won't be any more double XP coming. If there is, that'd be fan-freaking-tastic. If there's not, well, if you don't get a boss card, you're not going to be able to use it anyway. So keep all that in mind. Keep on keeping on. I'm probably going to be streaming MLB The Show either here on YouTube or on Twitch. Links down below. I'm gonna try to make an effort to do more here because I know you guys have been killing it watching the videos and stuff, so I want to get back to you guys a little bit. Maybe we'll do some YouTube streams here in the future. I don't know. Everything's up in the air, but I appreciate you. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a like so you don't miss out and all that fun stuff. Click links below for the Twitch, the Discord, all that fun stuff. And we'll see you guys all in the next video.